Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Unspoken Issues Podcast. This go-round, we're going to be discussing a comic book that I chose, but you were the one that threw it out there. Is that right? Chris Armstrong?
I believe, this is going back to the poll was back in, I think, in October. It was a landslide. I don't have the numbers, but it was between help us decide a topic for an upcoming episode. Which hero in a strange new world do you want to hear about? Superboy in a Kirby Commandy-inspired setting, or Havok in the dark X-Men universe of Mutant X? And Mutant X won handily.
Wow.
The Superboy issue was issue 50, and it started a 4-part story where he woke up in an almost Planet of the Apes type thing, like a Commandy type world. I liked it a lot when it came out back in the late 90s. I haven't reread it since then. But Mutant X was the clear winner. I was excited when it was announced, or I guess I'd just seen ads and stuff. Interestingly, the lead up to it in X Factor 149, I don't have it in front of me, but there was an X Factor issue where Havok dies.
It's 149, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And we see in Mutant X #1, his soul is transported into this other universe where their Havok dies at the same time, and he takes over their Havok's body. He's in this alternate universe of a darker version of the Marvel Universe. And this is after Age of Apocalypse. We had Elseworlds and What If. There wasn't totally unique, but it was also not as lousy as it's been in the last 10 or 15 years, where everything is a multiverse, alternate universe type thing. It was still fairly novel at this point, especially an ongoing series. If I remember right, this was intended to be 12 issues, and then they were going to send Havok back to the main Marvel universe, but it was such a success, they extended it, and it went for a few years. Having an ongoing alternate universe type thing was pretty novel, and I really enjoyed all of the alternate versions of these familiar characters. And it's like a clever way for Marvel to have its cake and eat it too, is in regards to killing a big character. You know he's going to be back. You get the emotional impact with the characters that are going to mourn him. The reader knows he's going to be back because he's in this other universe now, and then eventually they're going to bring him back.
When you picked the book up, Mutant X #1, was it because Howard Mackey's name was associated to it?
It might have been because I liked Howard Mackey's Ghost Rider stuff. He had done some Spider-Man stuff that I kind of liked. He had been in charge of the Amazing Spider-Man and Peter Parker Spider-Man relaunches around this same time. So he was kind of a big deal for Marvel in the late 90s.
All right. Welcome to the world of Mutant X. Here, Alex Summers is the leader of the Six, a team made up of distorted versions of people that we know from the 616. There's Bloodstorm, a fierce and deadly vampiric version of Storm. The Brute, he is a terrifying green monster version, dumbed down version of the Beast. Iceman, whose cold powers have consumed his humanity. The Fallen, a menacing angel, and that's with a capital A, with a dark, fiery presence. And at the center of it all, his wife in this reality, Madeline Pryor. Now, the powerful and commanding Marvel Woman?
That's what her code name is.
That's right. The story opens with chaos as the Six leap into action against towering mechanical sentinels intent on purging mutants from the gene pool. In the heat of battle, Alex dives to protect Maddie from a blast and is hit and thrown into a river, falling unconscious, nearly drowning. At this same moment, the Alex Summers we are familiar with, known as Havok, experiences what he believes is the moment of his death during a mission gone wrong in his reality. An explosion, a flash of light, and then nothingness. Instead of dying, Alex wakes up in the strange and twisted world of Mutant X, one that feels familiar but is utterly wrong. Dispatching the last Sentinel, Alex is left questioning everything. He knows he's not the Alex Summers of this world, but he doesn't understand what's happened or how he ended up here. One thing is certain, this world is far more dangerous and unpredictable than the one he left behind. If he's going to survive, he'll need to learn fast. As Alex Summers struggles to make sense of his new reality, Madeline Pryor implores him to remember their shared life together, revealing their son, Scotty, and a history that feels foreign to him. Despite her heartfelt pleas, Alex remains resistant, his memories fragmented and his sense of identity shaky. The urgency intensifies when Aurora, Bloodstorm, reports that S.H.I.E.L.D. terrorists have seized Liberty Island, threatening mutant lives. Madeline's desperation peaks as she begs Alex to help save their son, who is caught in the crossfire. The team, known as the Six, rallies for action, but Alex's internal conflict deepens. He's skeptical of this world and its truths, but realizes the stakes are too high to ignore. The story accelerates as Alex reluctantly agrees to aid the mission. The Six prepare for a confrontation on Liberty Island, with tensions and doubts hanging thick in the air. As the group moves out, Alex is left grappling with the weight of his supposed history, his connection to Madeline, and the danger awaiting them. Colonel Nick Fury positions himself on Liberty Island, rallying his S.H.I.E.L.D. forces with a sinister plan: the Legacy Virus, a weapon designed to target mutants and enhanced beings. Fury threatens to detonate it unless all super freaks leave the country. His ultimatum sends shockwaves through the mutant community, escalating tensions to a breaking point. The Six arrive, determined to stop Fury's madness. Madeline Pryor, seething with fury as Scotty is at Liberty Island at that moment, implores Alex Summers to recall their shared past and the pain they endured when their son Scotty was taken from them. Her desperate pleas are met with Alex's continued confusion, his memories fragmented and unreliable. The S.H.I.E.L.D. forces deploy advanced mandroid units to combat the Six. The mutants clash with Fury's troops in a chaotic display of powers and determination. The Fallen is taken out early, while Hank, the Brute, and Aurora Bloodstorm struggle against overwhelming odds. Madeline, fueled by her rage and amplified abilities as the Goblin Queen, unleashes a terrifying assault, declaring her resolve to save Scotty at any cost. Alex's doubts begin to resurface. He questions the reality of the situation, wondering if it's all an elaborate illusion. But as the fight rages on and Fury's forces falter, Alex is forced to confront the moment's urgency. Fury's sinister ploy to use Scotty as bait becomes clear, adding a personal stake to the conflict. Madeline's maternal instincts and unyielding power turn the tide, inspiring the Six to rally. Elektra, Scotty's nanny, joins in the fight and takes out Fury's forces with lethal precision. The battle reaches its climax when Alex confronts Fury directly. Harnessing his energy powers, Alex blasts Fury into the river and disables the Legacy Virus device, ensuring the safety of all mutants and enhanced beings. As the dust settles, Scotty is reunited with his mother, but Alex's turmoil remains unresolved. His amnesia and disjointed memories prevent him from fully embracing the role of a father or leader. In a poignant moment, Scotty's rejection of Alex as his father cuts deep, leaving Alex questioning his identity and purpose. The issue ends on a foreboding note as Alex recalls the explosion caused by Greystone's time displacement machine, triggering fragmented memories of his death.
One of the interesting things about the way Mackie sets up all these characters, they're all like twisted versions of, X-Men characters. These versions all have a basis in the 616 reality, where things went a little differently. Like, Bloodstorm, Aurora, and forgive me because most of these storylines I only am familiar with mostly from the trading cards, because I haven't read a lot of the 80s X-Men stuff. But at one point Aurora was bitten by Dracula or a vampire and became a vampire. She was changed back at some point, but in this reality she never changed back. She was always a vampire. Warren was turned into Archangel in 616, and in this universe he's a darker version. It's instead of the metal wings, he has leathery bat wings, and he's a lot more demonic. His name is the Fallen, so obviously Angel, the Fallen.
Yeah,
Angel is a demon. Madeline Pryor, all that stuff with the Goblin Queen, that was a late 80s X-Men storyline. And I believe the thing with Bobby Drake was part of there was a crossover where the X-Men and the Asgardians were involved, but I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I assume that's where the seeds of that came from. And in this reality, Bobby became cursed as a permanent Iceman. And then, Hank, it's just a different version of Hank. Instead of being a blue furry guy, he's a scaly beast with cloven hooves. And he's lost all of his intelligence, more childlike. But all the roots of all these versions are in big 80s X-Men stories. Mackie was probably already working at Marvel in the late 80s, but as a fan, I'm sure he was a big fan of all that stuff. Brute might be my favorite of the redesigns. Like, it's cool that they use the Mohawk Storm. So I guess she doesn't have strictly a Mohawk, but it's evoking that 80s Storm look.
Oh, yeah.
Fallen looks pretty cool, but I think my favorite is the Beast redesign with the hooves and the scales and everything. He's just really the most unique of all these redesigns. I really like that one. It's cool that their headquarters is a haunted castle.
Head to the Source Material Comics Podcast YouTube page to listen to the full podcast and feel free to like and subscribe.